everybody, Bloodmoon Bobby and Gabby here. So we
Hello.
finally made it to the last, at least in terms of like the really mainline Star Wars movies, the last of the prequel movies, Revenge of the Sith, the one where Anakin becomes Darth Vader. And yeah, interesting thing about this one is I feel like in this, yeah, before I saw Revenge of the Sith, the general consensus I heard when it came to the prequels was Phantom Menace was the one, Attack of the Clones was the bad one, and Revenge of the Sith was the good one, like,
I,
but
w-
with
I,
big
s-
problems. So,
I would still not say that. I would definitely stick with Phantom Menace being the quote unquote good one. Um, though I will say, as I had mentioned before, even though I'd had a horrible experience with it,
mhm.
not so bad coming back to it. I have to say, it was more palatable than Clone Wars. So. I
Yeah.
don't know what that really amounts to because it's not much, but still better than Clone Wars. Yay.
I see. Yeah, I mean, my basic thinking, and I think what's interesting this time is unlike Attack of the Clones, where we basically both agree that it was a flying piece of trash. Revenge of the Sith, we kind of differ. And even when I say good, I really only mean that by default, because while I would say that, I wouldn't say it was like the one that I enjoyed, like straight through, like one of the original trilogy movies. Like my take on it is basically first half I couldn't really get into it, and I also have some problems with the scene where Anakin becomes Darth Vader. But when he does turn, I was able to get into the movie like just fine. It was like, oh, it gave me what I was like looking for, like,
Oh,
and
cool.
I was able to get into the second half. So where should we begin?
I mean, I'm already curious. I wanted to ask what exactly did you have issues with as far as Anakin turning into Darth Vader?
Yeah, funny enough, I think it's just that I think it was just like what I feared, because I remember like hearing like the popular like sort of like generally when people say they have problems with that turning scene is that it comes off as like it when it happens it feels like too fast. It's like oh, like all because of that scene with Mace Windu. It's like, oh, that's the turning point. Even when um Palpatine is like, your name will be Darth Vader. I was like really? It's like you're gonna be
I'm
that. I just found that to
like,
be like like you're gonna be that like on the nose in terms of like saying you shall now be called Darth Vader and that sort
yeah,
of
I
thing.
can see how that's pretty on the nose.
Hmm.
I'm not surprised they went there just because it's like that's kind of like the thing with Star Wars. At least for me, you have to have that moment. Like there has to be that moment. If you don't have that moment, people are gonna be like, "But wait, where is it?"
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, that's
but I
all I
definitely
could really
get
say.
you.
I
I
mean,
get you so much. Yeah, like I
yeah.
can agree. It was
Hmm.
very on the nose.
Yeah. I mean, what I will say, I think both of us can agree is that this whole like buildup wasn't like too surprising, but not in like a good way. Like I remember throughout the movies, you were bringing up how, oh, we know Palpatine's gonna be the main villain, which is kind of an inherent problem when they try to like pose him as like, I get the sense that they wanted to pose him as like this kind of great manipulator and that sort of thing, but I honestly wonder if they were trying to do the thing where it's like, oh, we'll fool the audience, because I'm just like, nobody's gonna be fooled into like thinking, oh, maybe Palpatine was good. I don't know. I maybe if they went down a route where it's kind of like they show like maybe he was like a straight, I mean, this is not like perfect by any means, but I'm just like thinking, for instance, it's kind of like how I know some Star Wars fans are going to say you can't make this comparison, but this is the best I can think of. We've been talking about a show on Disney Channel called Owl House, and one of the characters, Lilith, she used to be like basically one of the good characters. And then she
Yes.
turned bad when she went to that, scary club called the Emperor's Coven. Right.
I definitely see the parallels there.
Mm-hmm.
That yeah, I can definitely see that. Does it work with Senator Palpatine? No, no, it does not. Not
Yeah,
one
no,
tiny
not
itsy bitsy itsy weensy bit. I
yeah.
spent how long avoiding the movies? I was probably very lost watching them and just learning stuff right there and then. I was not fooled once. We all knew what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
It is clear as the nose on my face.
Yeah.
You're not going to dupe anyone unless you're expecting people to start from that point,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but let's be honest, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to do that scene in Phantom Menace where he's like, covered by like his cloak, and I think even like people like, let's say if they're starting from Phantom Menace, I think they could kind of get the sense that that's Palpatine. I mean, I brought up the Owl House comparison because when I was watching, they showed that flashback scene when Ida and like Lilith and her sister Ida were like kids and they're running around and like Ida hurts herself, and they showed that scene of like how she like shares the like injury, if you will.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Like throughout that scene, I wasn't thinking you're gonna turn bad. You're gonna turn bad. Screw you, fuck Lilith, like that kind of
No,
thing. Like I thought that was a sweet scene.
and that was kind of the point because it was working off of someone we already knew had some sort of moral issues,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I don't even think at that point we really knew what the deal was between them. Like we didn't know that Lilith was the one who cursed Ida.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if for some reason this was where you found the spoiler for Owl House, guys, but I mean, go check out our videos at that point. They're really cool. But anyway,
Yeah.
comparing that to Palpatine, we're not getting any sense of, oh, this guy used to be nice and he just went bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was a jerk from the start, and he was manipulating, and he was just no good. Yeah, no, he wasn't redeemable in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he was doing something nice, you know it wasn't nice because he had some sort of ulterior motive.
Yeah. Like that scene when he was like encouraging Anakin in Attack of the Clones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about protect Queen Amidala, blah blah blah. But poppycock.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like, I still kind of, what's funny is that, like, I was telling my sister Penny about, like, Revenge of the Sith. And one thing that, like, kind of, like, she was just kind of, I guess you could say, in all of this. So, Palpatine made up this lie to Anakin saying, oh, if you join the dark side, you can save your wife. And that, of course, doesn't happen. So it's like, why is he still working with Palpatine? It's like you just made a
That's a
big,
good
yeah,
question.
yeah. I mean, and the
Toxic
only,
relationships are a strong and serious thing, my friends.
yeah.
They are not to be messed with.
Hmm. I mean, the only thing I can really think of is it that Anakin's like frustration with his friends, like with Obi-Wan and feeling excluded, is that like I feel I could that's the only justification I could think of as far as him wanting to
I
stay.
probably would simplify it down to the fact that he's too far in. He's too far in at that point. What's he gonna
Hmm.
do?
Yeah.
It's too late.
Hmm.
He's gone off the deep end. There's no turning back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, I think I would have preferred if like Anakin's like sort of like transition from going from Anakin to Darth Vader. It was something more of like a gradual grudge that was like growing and that kind of thing. Cause I think
Yeah,
that's how.
builds up a little more. And this is saying that between the two kind of examples of this kind of like rage or grudge kind of growing sort of deal that we have mainly between Anakin and I can't think of his name.
Obi-Wan?
Kylo Ren.
Oh,
Kylo
yeah.
Ren. Okay, like as far as the parallels between the characters goes, we're talking about the one who has the most development in that sense, and it's still not enough.
Hmm.
So, yeah, what does that say? It's no, not good, not good at all.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I've that's yeah, so that's just kind of how we feel about that sort of transition. There was, I know there was build up in Attack the Clones, like, where we see, some differences start to, make themselves known and that sort of thing. But I still kind of felt like when he did turn, it was like this doesn't feel like gradual, even though there was like arguably, build up. And it's not just a case of, oh, I just knew because was I knew from the start that Anakin was going to turn. It's like even though I think most people would know he was going to turn, it still felt kind of, I don't
Yeah,
know, it
it
just
felt
kind of,
forced. It
yeah,
definitely felt forced. And again, that's because it was pushed a lot. Everybody wanted to see that happen. And I guess they didn't have a lot of time to really do it.
yeah,
So that kind of backfired.
yeah. So yeah, what else could we well, so like in the beginning of the movie, so okay, so we covered with Anakin. How did you feel about the whole thing with General Grievous?
What part exactly?
Just basically his like story arc in general, in because like I would say like it took up a good amount of the first half of the movie up until his
Okay.
defeat.
Now let me refresh my memory. General Grievous. Um, is that the cyborg guy
with
or
the with the like
yeah,
he
with the
carries
multiple
multiple
arms?
lightsabers, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I
Hmm.
mean, it was cool seeing him on screen. The fight scenes were pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if we really get to explore him that much as a character. Like we don't get to know him very much. But at the same time, it's still enjoyable and
Hmm.
it's not as like I guess you could say disappointing. Although I don't know if disappointing is really the right term with how what happened with Darth Maul in the sense that Darth Maul got cut off quickly. And
Yeah.
although General Grievous did as well, it did not come as much of a disappointment, mainly because you could see this guy was he was hanging by a limb. He was he
Hmm.
was on his last legs. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but I mean, it was still fun, and it was still cool to see him manage to kick some ass before kick some kick some butt before you know getting his own butt kicked, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think I honestly could say that for much of the first half of the movie, to be honest, where it's like, even if I feel like, I could have used a bit more of it in terms of, I guess you could say, like substance. I mean, it was still, like kind
Yeah,
of cool. I mean, I know
definitely.
I would probably say like the very beginning of the movie is like generally most people like, like where it started off, I would say.
I can agree with that. Yeah, it
Yeah.
starts off pretty well, and there was a lot more action than I picked up on from my first experience. So that was a pleasant surprise
Yeah.
because my little inner child was like, "This is what I wanted. This is all I
Yeah.
wanted."
Yeah. I mean, should I mention how this was the movie that had the famous do it scene?
Do it. Do it. I didn't even notice it. It went by so quickly that I just kind of what?
Hmm.
That got me kind of sad because I'm like, I wanted to be there for it, and my brain was just like, nope. Let's think about I don't know pretzels or something. I don't know what I was thinking about.
Yeah, it's like your mind suddenly turned into like, did your mind turn into like the mind of Eric Andre for a
Yeah,
second?
it's like
Yeah.
Just like random burst of energy. Let's think of squirrels.
Yeah, so yeah, if I mean, I guess like another thing I could say about this movie is that it kind of gave birth to several memes. Like,
That
do
was
it.
probably the best part of this film, was just recognizing how many memes came from this.
Yeah, everything from do it to no, and even execute order 66. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah, I learned that one. I wasn't even aware of that one,
mhm. I
but
didn't.
I'm glad I know it now.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't even know if it was a Star Wars. I thought people were just like making like jokes whenever they're gonna do something that seems like serious, or that's something like it's like taking a test, execute Warrior 66, and it's like, oh, so that's where the meme came from. And
That makes sense though.
mhm.
I had not picked up on it at all. Like I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard it used. I've never seen the reference, never seen the clip. I was just like, oh, that's a meme. Okay, a meme I've not seen before. That's that's new.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, as we were watching the movie, I couldn't help but kind of chuckle, even though, Palpatine was going around saying, execute Order 66, like, telling, his,
Oh
like,
yeah,
minions, hey.
that's like the whole deal with this movie. It's
Mhm.
like the joy, the enjoyment, the enjoyment,
Enjoyment.
the enjoyment of this film for me came from the ironic viewing, or like hate watching of the movie. By all means, was it the same kind of hate watching as Clone Wars? Not by a long shot. I could actually have a great time watching this movie. And
Yeah.
even though I was laughing at it, I was definitely enjoying how funny it was and how seriously it took itself despite it.
Yeah. I would say so too. Oh, what else could we really say? I because I don't just want to jump to like hey, let's get to the climax, because I think
Oh my
like
gosh.
generally most people were like the climax. I guess how do you feel about like Anakin and Padme's relationship in this one? I mean, it's
It's
not as
toned down.
cringy as like
It's toned down, so
yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still cringy? Yeah, it's still cringy. Should they be together? No.
Yeah.
No. Then I'm still here wondering how this became so popular with a lot of young ladies, because I'm here like, this is what you want from a relationship.
Need I
This is
remind you
what you're
that
looking for.
yeah, need I remind you Boschlo is a thing?
What is that?
The pairing of Basha and Willow from Owl House.
Oh, but okay. Oh my God. Now I'm just finally clicking that together. There's something about toxic relationships, at least in fictional work, that I don't know why so many people are attracted to it. I really don't understand, but
Yeah, and I'm just
okay.
like, you're gonna pair Willow
I'm
with
just
like
gonna be
one of
here
her
asking.
bullies. Like,
I'm just
what?
gonna be here asking, do you guys need help? Do you need a hug?
Yeah, I
Do
think
you
yeah,
need
you need
somebody
a
to
hug.
tell you they love you?
Hmm.
Because we're here for you, man. We
Yeah.
don't gotta go there. We don't gotta go there. Same thing with because that's the thing. Am I aware that there are tons of these kinds of relationships? Absolutely. That they are popular? Absolutely. Anything from, I mean, even weirdest stuff like I mean, Chucky and Tiffany from Child's Play.
Hmm.
There's tons of people who are like, oh yeah, this is how I want my relationship to be. You mean you want to compare your relationship to that of like two serial killers? Okay.
I'm just
or
like,
or or Joker and Harley, which no disrespect if you like Joker or Harley, but wanting a relationship like theirs, ooh, no, no, especially if you want to be Harley. Mm-mm. You deserve better.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I mean, I'm a because admittedly, I'm a bit of a shipper myself. I mean,
Oh yeah, me
in
too. Like
like for
I
people
love a
who,
good pairing. I
yeah,
do. But when stuff like that happens, I don't even mind the crack ships too much because crack ships could be funny as heck.
hmm
But the toxic ones that I'm just like, ooh, you looking for a bad time, aren't you? You're a masochist, aren't you? Do you need help?
yeah,
It all just turns, it just all turns full circle to that, that the question, do you need help? Because that's ultimately the biggest thing I'm going to be asking.
hmm Something else I wanted to ask
Oh,
you, what did you think of the opera house scene?
house scene. I'm blanking out as to what that was.
The scene where Palpatine tells that fable, essentially saying, about Darth Plagueis, about how there was this person, who could,
Oh, that was actually interesting.
yeah.
That was actually very interesting and funny enough. Before we I was doing this video, I was with my boyfriend on Messenger, and we were doing this like Disney trivia challenge.
Uh-huh.
And they came up, and the question was, what was the name of the guy Palpatine was talking about? And I could have sworn it was something non kind of negative sounding or like red flaggish. So I thought it was this other name, and then he's like, "No, it's Darth Plagueis," and I'm like, "God dang
hmm
it!" But yeah, no, the story he tells, I think is very very interesting, just in the sense of getting a view of how like the Sith kind of view the world from their perspective. I don't know if
hmm
I'm just being redundant there, but the point being is like we get to see stuff through their eyes. Why they uphold the values that they do, because um I mean, obviously, if it wasn't attractive, or if there wasn't anything to be gained from it, people wouldn't be interested, right?
hmm
But somehow people are, so there has to be there has to be something to it, and I think that helps so much get a idea of that as far as the dynamic between the Jedi and the Sith.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so too. Yeah. So actually, yeah, because the idea of the sword Dark Blade was like, Palpatine was saying, here as there was once a guy who was it that he could like I'm getting it kind of mixed up, that he could like save like others from dying, or it wasn't that he could like bring people back to life, right?
Yeah, yeah, he could save them from death itself, and he had a lot of knowledge, and that he got, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but like they didn't want him using that knowledge or something like
hmm
that. I think it was because it wasn't natural, but the point being that it was
Yeah.
like it was painting the picture of we uphold knowledge, we value knowledge at its core, and that's the kind of place you're going to be getting into. Obviously, Palpatine was in it for a little more than just knowledge. I think he even points out that his purpose, his goal is to obtain more power. And
Yeah.
I think it kind of also manages to kind of paint the picture of how individuals within some sort of kind of group can display a sense of hypocrisy, or something like that, just from the sense of like, here he is talking about knowledge and how good it is, and how this poor person was shunned, or like held back because of it. like it was a bad thing, but ultimately he's not even thinking about the knowledge himself. He's just thinking about, see, look at the stuff he could do with that. He was powerful. That's what I want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh no, no. I mean, knowledge is power, but no, that's not what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, power without the responsibility, I
Yeah.
think.
And I mean, I understand, like, in the case of Palpatine, he's basically, using that to sort of like attract Anakin to going over to the dark side,
Right.
and doesn't even going over doesn't even save Padme's life in the end.
Yeah, yeah. It great example there on account of Anakin as to how a self-fulfilling prophecy works. Take note, guys. Take
Mm-hmm.
notes. Trying to avoid the one thing you were so scared of to such an extent that you end up making it happen yourself. Oof. Oof. Not to mention trusting the wrong guy who you were sure was going to help you out and do it, and then it's like, nope, too
Nope.
late. It
Nope.
happened. Oh well, too bad. So sad you're here already. Well, let's keep going. Onward.
Yeah. So so I guess now we can get to the climax, the final fight scene between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
The energy in that scene was just all over the place, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I felt tension, awkwardness just in general, a lack of energy, or just a strange combination of all of those. Like, I did not know what to make of it.
Really? I was pretty much hooked from, like, where it started.
We're talking the part where they're like in that area with the lava, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way that I mean, obviously when they're there fighting and you don't want them to get into the lava and all of that, that's like, oh, whoa, yeah, obviously there's tension there. But then you hear the dialogue, and I'm like, ew, I don't like this dialogue.
Yeah, which, yeah, to be
Especially on
fair, the
account of
climax.
Anakin. Like, I
Yeah.
felt so bad for Obi-Wan, but Anakin was just spouting so much poop. But I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, how do you, oh wait, like I was about to be like, how do you kiss your mother with that? Mouth was like, oh, touchy subject.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah, because to be fair, the climate, it does have its like share of like lines that have kind of become, like, I guess you could say, meme material. Like, I think of like when Obi-Wan is like, it's over and again I have the high ground. Or I even
Yeah,
like find myself saying what was it? It was something like you were supposed to defeat the Sith, not join. I don't
it
know
was
why.
supposed to bring balance to the force.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. But why is it that we're quoting Obi-Wan and not Anakin?
Hmm.
Because you can just not relate at all to what Anakin is saying. It's like he's just completely lost. I don't even think it's Anakin anymore. I don't even
Yeah.
know if that's Darth Vader. I
Yeah.
don't even know that's a person. That's just some, I don't know what that is. That's some sort of mania or something, brainwashing. I don't know.
Well,
Probably
brainwashing from Palpatine, I
brainwashing.
guess you could
Yeah,
say.
more than
Yeah.
likely. But yeah, you could tell he got scrubbed real good by then. Oof.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why I didn't really buy into it. It wasn't necessarily bad. It was not
Uh-huh.
bad, but just the combination of all of that just kind of like, I don't know, threw off the energy for me. And I mean, I definitely appreciated the lines from Obi-Wan or seeing the like the events kind of take place and all of that. But then even then, after Obi-Wan was like feeling so sad, breaking down, and even feeling bad for Anakin. Anakin's over here spouting like hate at him.
Hmm.
As if he wasn't the one who brought about a lot of the stuff that he was angry about on himself, and recognizing that I could not sympathize with him.
Yeah.
So
hmm Was it basically a matter of once, like, how exactly did you feel once Anakin did turn?
I was like, he was already kind of acting like that to begin with. So the
hmm
fact that he just indulged in it even further, I'm like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. All right, we lost him.
Yeah, because I kind of get the sense that we should be perceiving this as like, this huge, huge tragedy, which I mean,
Oh yeah, it's
that's
like,
like,
oh
yeah.
no, how did it happen? Like, no, the guy was an edge lord from the moment he hit puberty. You're really going to question how he just automatically went to the angstier side? Of course, he's going to go to the angstier side. He's angsty.
hmm
I mean, I don't even know how old is he by the time that we get to that fight. Probably like in his
I'm
20s. I don't know if that's how it works.
yeah, but
Like I'm just talking like maturity wise, I guess. And from I don't know. I don't know if there's any kind of different age logic for people coming from Tatooine. I don't think so. Because I think he might be human. I'm not sure. But there's a possibility. I don't know. But
mhm.
anyway, the point being, he's like right past that little, just that little bit past, adolescence, to the point where you're like, yeah, I don't know if there's anything going to pull you out of that now.
Mhm.
At that point, it's like, oh, okay, that's just what you've become. That's cool. It's not disappointing or anything. It's not like we were hoping that you would turn around and
Mhm.
get your shit together.
Yeah, because I think yeah, because just with how like in terms of the order of the movies, it's just like it's basically what's going to happen. So I
Yeah.
guess for me, I feel
Now
like
I just
the only possible way I could get that feeling of oh no is like if like Anakin was like yeah, like a much different, or at least if we got to see. I mean, I think it's a case of like if he was made a more interesting character, not just this kind of like emo kid. And I don't know if like they
it's
really
not,
moved.
yeah, not even a good emo kid because like holy mac,
hmm
that's like, oh, we do not claim him. No.
Yeah, I mean, he just kind of
I
came
like,
off as this like cranky, even sometimes creepy sort of character.
oh yeah, edge
Yeah.
lord 10,000. You heard about Sith Lords? Get ready for the Edge Lords.
hmm I don't like sand.
I don't like sand. It's
Yeah,
coarse
and
and
you know
rough.
what's funny is that like that line has like become such like it's like people make fun of it. I remember like one of like my regular commenters well as like came by, that was like the main comment we got from the Attack the Clones video was the I hate sand
I
line.
hate sand. Yeah, that's beautiful.
hmm
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh
So okay,
man.
so now I guess we get to the very end of the movie where we see um Padme gives birth to Luke and Leia, but she Gabby, are you still there? Oh, Gabby?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, you
okay.
cut out a little bit there, but I still managed to kind of follow.
Okay. But yeah, so I guess we can now talk about the very end of the film.
Yeah, with Padme and the birth of the babies. Was it twins? It was twins, right?
Yes, Luke and Leia.
Okay. As yeah, I wasn't quite sure if they were born at the same time or not, but there's only one birth scene. So yeah, and I do remember there was like, oh, there's another.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I know this might be kind of a weird thing to bring up, but what do you make of like the cause of like Padme's death? And that like we hear like this kind of like robot doctor say that, oh, she seems to be healthy, but she appears to have lost the will to live.
I never understood that. I never did. But I mean, there you go. I guess the result of a broken. That's what I'd understood originally. I'd heard it was the will to live, but I'd understood it as, oh, her heart was broken, so she just died because she had nothing to live for. Which is kind of messed up because she just gave birth to children. It's like you don't want to stay for your children.
Yeah, that's actually I mean, she does say that line just before she dies, where she's like, I still think there's like good in Anakin, and but she still dies.
It's like that's what you end off on. Yikes. But I mean, you can't really blame her either. She is particularly the victim in this circumstance, so there's
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, holy mac, it's sad. It's still
Yeah,
sad.
I mean, it's still sad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the whole like ending like basically has. I mean, given that this is after, we see Anakin like completely like go over and becomes Darth Vader, it just has this like kind of atmosphere of gloominess with a glimmer of hope, if you will,
Oh
with of
yeah,
course Luke and Leia.
yeah. Hey, glimmer of hope, new hope.
Yeah, I heard it's a movie somewhere. I don't even.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy mac. Excuse me. I had
Okay.
something in
So
my throat.
yeah, which what do you make of like the scene where uh Anakin like gets into the Darth Vader outfit?
That was a good scene. I
Hmm.
don't know if there was much to it besides just how cool it looked
Yeah.
with him going into the suit.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked
Although
it.
once again, it does like the very end has become a meme when he shouts, "No!"
Ooh. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not really as silly as it's made out to be, but it's hard not to laugh at it
Yeah.
after
I mean, I even remember like
context.
watching James Rolfe when he talked about the prequels in his own review. I remember he said if all you remember, like I think because the no scene has like because like so many people make fun of it, he was like if all you remember is Darth Vader shouting no, give this movie another chance. Which I still think that there are like some things worth
Yeah,
seeing.
I could agree with that. I could
Yeah.
agree with that. I didn't even remember that much, to be honest. I knew it was a thing, but I did not know it was that movie.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, I could definitely get behind that. I mean, even if it's less, like my only memory of it was getting bored after 10 minutes worth of talking,
Hmm.
uh, when it was in theaters, and I still gave it a second shot. And holy mac, I'm kind of glad I did, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's so funny how I was because I became really anxious about, oh, there's going to be really long drawn out political talks. And honestly, maybe
Yeah,
because
it
like
wasn't as bad as I
yeah,
remembered it, so
like
I was really
like
happy.
I guess for me, maybe because like it was so like warned about, and I'm not a fan of like really slow, talky kind of scenes. I feel like one guy who could pull off like really long, talky scenes, like Aaron Sorkin, like the writer Aaron Sorkin with have you seen his movies?
I'd probably have to hear which ones he's got under his belt. I'm doing.
Um he's a social network, a few good men. Steve
Uh
Jobs with that guy. Like I feel like
yeah, I could agree with that.
yeah.
It's not necessarily a kind of movie I gravitate towards, but I mean, I could definitely appreciate how he makes it work. I remember particularly seeing examples from the Social Network
Yeah.
regarding that, and yeah, pretty well done.
Yeah, but I feel like what makes those kind of really like dialogue heavy scenes work, like the one I've seen is his Steve Jobs movie, is there's a lot more like tension and energy behind the actors. Like I think that's why one of the sort of tropes about his movies is there's a lot of arguing, and it's just like, and because like these characters tend to be
Oh
really like
yeah, for
passionate
sure.
people and like
And then you
I almost am
and you got
asking
it
myself, why am I
being
comparing?
brought.
I'm almost like asking, why am I even making comparing Star Wars to Aaron Sorkin? But I'm just kind of giving an example of like what's the
But
kind of
yeah, and I mean,
yeah.
add on to that. Add on to that, like it's particularly with like the Social Network, that you got the guy from Zombieland and but Scott Pilgrim behind it. I
Hmm.
was like, heck yeah, it's Scott Pilgrim, and he's
Oh my
yelling.
God.
I love this.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name, but holy mac, I love that guy. He's pretty funny.
Was it Michael Sarah?
Yes, there you go. That's him. Yeah, I love that guy. He's funny. Now,
Hmm.
I say that, but not in the sense of, oh, I think he's a good guy or anything, because I have no idea. So
Hmm.
don't take me that way. But I mean, I loved his work in Zombieland. I loved his work in Social Network was pretty good too. And
Hmm.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I mean, holy mac. I love that movie. I
Hmm.
love it.
I see. Yeah.
Anyway,
So
segue.
yeah, so I guess that that's our review of Revenge of the Sith. So I guess do you have more to say, Gabby?
No. No, I'm good. Oh my gosh, I just had to do that. I had to do that. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
You could like clip that, make it into a meme or something. That's fine. You know, free content, guys.
Yeah.
Free
But
content.
yeah, but what I mean is that overall, what are your like final thoughts?
Um, I'm sorry, I'm still composing myself a little bit, but um, overall, I am glad that I gave the movie another chance. Again, like I said, I was pretty happy to see that it wasn't as talky or slow paced as I remembered it. And the moments that were kind of focusing on the dialogue or the political aspects of the lore worked out pretty well.
Hmm.
They could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall it was okay. I think I enjoyed having that whole beginning part with General Grievous and all that
Hmm.
thoroughly, because that's essentially what I have always enjoyed Star Wars for. Obviously, like on a superficial level, not delving into like the complexity of the characters or anything like that. But overall, it was okay. It was okay. I survived.
Hmm.
I think now the only film from Star Wars that I have not seen would have to be Han Solo, or the Solo movie. It's Solo, right?
Yeah, Solo from
Yeah,
Ron
that's
Howard.
that's the only one I haven't watched. So now I can at least say that I've seen the original trilogy and the prequels in its entirety.
Yeah. So yeah, so up until now I have like seen, well, now I could finally say that I've seen the original sequel and prequel trilogy. And I mean, this is just like something, I have to say, especially since I finally finished Infinity Train. I'm just like, I am so sick of when like I say things like, oh, maybe I'll check this out someday or something like that. And someday just never comes. So I was just like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad like I finally got to see. And even because even though the prequels have like sort of this like not so good Legacy. I still wanted to see them because I also didn't like want to just run around saying, "Oh, I heard that," you know, what I mentioned before about how the general consensus of like, oh, Phantom is Attack of the Clones is bad and Revenge of the Sith is, sort of the good one by default and that sort of thing. Cause I kind of wanted to see them for myself. And generally speaking, I also have to say I'm like partial to what most of that sort of general feeling of what I said about the three movies. Although I think like what I will say is that I think I was able to find like I mean for me I think I found even more like good things to look for in Revenge of the Sith, even if it wasn't like nowhere near as good as like the original trilogy films by any means, but I'm still, glad that I got to check it out.
Oh, for sure. And I think this kind of helped me uh gain more of an appreciation for the prequels, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but there you go. I mean, I kind of recognize that there was something that other people were enjoying about it, but I think now I can get a better idea of like, hey, there is some cool stuff in these films, and everyone's going to take different things out of a film, but it definitely helps to have the experience and the ability to say, oh, okay, I watched it, I gave it another shot, I know what people enjoy from it, I can see what I personally enjoy from it now,
Yeah.
just kind of having more of a it's as simple as having a better idea of what you're talking about, and from there gaining an appreciation of it.
Yeah. Because I could tell from my experience of like from Infinity Trainers, it's not good to like just be stuck in that like black hole of I don't know what's going to happen and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get out of that too. And I mean, even I'm guilty of doing that. I know recently we were when I was starting off my class that's like focuses on writing about film
Hmm.
on a critical level. Um we One of the first movies we got was called Out of the Past, and it's this really kind of old school 1950s uh, film noir. And I always have a hard time with film noir.
Hmm.
So I was not excited to get into that. But I mean, giving it a chance and being able to say, hey, I watched it, it's like, hey, I was able to get through it, like
Hmm.
it's not the end of the world. You can watch stuff even though you don't personally enjoy it.
Hmm.
The hard part then becomes knowing what to talk about it and not just end up saying, oh, I hated it because I don't like it.
Hmm. Yeah, in that it doesn't just turn up into like basically like a angry like YouTube review, like the stereotypical one where it just is like it's just somebody like shouting at a camera basically.
Oh yeah, and it's so easy for me to go there that
Hmm.
being able to step back and say, you know what, there's still good things about this, thing we're talking about here. It's like, okay, that's good. I'm not going to lose my head over this.
Yeah.
It's not
Which is
fun
good.
losing your head over anything, really. So,
So that was our review of Revenge of the Sith, and yeah, we got through all the mainline Star Wars movies. It just kind of wows me, like looking back, like we were even like reviewing Star Wars movies even before my channel. Like I turned it into the Blood Moon Bobby channel. Like you remember when we got together at Steven's place to talk about
oh my gosh, yeah,
Force
I
Awakens,
remember.
yeah, and we were eating pizza,
Yeah, I
yeah.
was over there talking about like what did I say? I said this really weird thing. I think I was saying that I believe I had thought that Kylo and Ray were siblings for some reason.
Ooh, especially what
I
after what
still remember
happens
that,
in
and I was
Rise
like,
Skywalker, I'm just like,
oh
ooh.
yeah, like, okay, I'm glad I was way off there. I think
Mhm.
people were still thinking that they might have also been like cousins, but
Uh-huh.
holy mac, I'm glad that none of that was true
Yeah.
because that would have made a very, very, very awkward kind of dynamic, even more so than it is already. Because I dare say there is still some sort of awkwardness between them, but
Mhm.
at least it's not, you know, that.
Yeah, now I'm gonna think of
Woo!
Rise of Skywalker really differently.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that may also have something to do with why I wasn't really into the whole ship to begin with. I,
Hmm.
I I don't know if that was the main part of it. I don't think so, but that may have something to say.
What like
And I have since cleared that out of my mind. I'm like, okay, I know that's not it. I'm
you
glad
know,
it's not it.
yeah, because I know it's weird because I know how crazy shipping can be, and even I sometimes wonder, what if there was a United Nations for shippers, or what if the
Oh
Starco fans
yeah.
had their own aircraft carrier? So I
And
know shipping.
then you have that little island off the coast with all of the degenerates. It's like Taboo Island.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like I don't, yeah, I don't know what it is with shipping where it can get very easily turned into like this like cool like conundrum of like crazy people, but
Oh yeah, like do you remember how people were like they built like this whole fandom around the Lorax, the movie The Lorax?
I mean, like with the once lore.
Yes, there was a thing called Oncest.
Oh my god.
You pair the Onceler with himself, but it's a different version of him, so it's okay.
Uh, I'm pretty sure Dr. Seuss is rolling in his grave, but
Probably. But I think it may be a 50-50 chance, actually. Either he's really for it or he's just like, what are you doing? Oh,
yeah,
but
but
yeah, you gotta
yeah, but
love
it's just
that.
like welcome to ships, if you will. But
Welcome to the land of shipping.
mhm.
Take your pick. Just don't touch the tree of rotting fruit. That's
Uh-huh.
or do we don't care. I mean, just watch yourself.
But
What is it? Rule what's it? 34?
I wouldn't know, but yeah.
Yeah, rule 34 of the internet.
Hmm.
Cool. Okay. I'm just curious. Do you know what rule 34 is?
No, I have no idea what it is.
No, oh no, oh no. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Is it okay if I talk about it right here, real quick? It's not a lot to it. It's just the rule 34 of the internet, I believe, goes along the lines of if it exists, there is sexy stuff of it. We'll put it that way.
Wait, say that again. If it exists, what?
There's like sexy versions of it, or well, I mean, I'm
Oh
putting it
no! Oh
lately. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh,
gonna be
that's
a
why
thing
I
where it's
love
like
the
if it
internet.
can be bought, then there's probably at least two people out there that try to ship them. But it's like, okay.
Oh no, yeah, no. If it exists, there's beep of it. You can insert the word here if you like, but you don't have to. It's up to you.
You know, yeah, maybe now my idea of shipping alliances is now not going to be such a good idea because if that was a thing, I could only imagine how far off people will go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, because I was already thinking it was kind of weird. Like I remember there was this like animation of like Marco like kissing all these like not just like star characters, but I also mean like I remember like seeing Tulip in there, and I'm just like I already thought that was like
Tulip,
what
tulip. From where?
Infinity Train.
Oh, what? I mean, okay, that's that's a new breed of crack ship right there. That is, holy mac. I mean, it works, I guess.
And yeah,
There
but
are
it's just
definitely
like,
weirder ships. There are definitely weirder ships.
mhm.
Like, I don't know. I think some of the weirder ones to probably come from like Disney and stuff like that. I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head. Some people get really creative.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, how many ships are there for Marco? There's like what, Kelko, Markapoo,
Oh well, yeah, he gets
Jarko.
around though. He gets around though. Not in like the sense that he's looking for it or anything. It's just like a lot of people like Marco because he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And nice guys are hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I mean, if they're gonna be going for someone like Marco, I'm going to say they have good taste. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, definitely a lot better than something like Anakin or freaking Joker or something like that. Like, please, no. Okay, I'm sorry.
but yeah, so oh boy, just like, yeah, that's just what happens with shipping. It's just like once it comes up, it's like the possibilities are endless, and but in like a very insane like
Oh
sort of
yeah.
way. Yeah. So okay, so that was our review of Revenge of the Sith and a little about like our thoughts on ships, if you will. So I guess yeah, so thanks
Yeah.
Gaby for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for people watching, be sure to check out our other Star Wars reviews if you haven't seen them already. Like I said, we've mainly gone through, I guess, the mainline movies, the prequel, sequel, and original trilogies.
There's also, if you haven't already, we got the Owl House kind of review still going on there while you're waiting for more episodes to come, like I am.
Yeah.
Go check those out too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this has been Bloodman Bobby and Gabby, and until our next review, we will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Hi everyone, thanks for watching this Blood Moon Bobby video. Like and share the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos and ring the bell to be notified about my latest uploads. Don't forget to follow me on social media for my latest opinions and video updates. I hope to see you next time.